I want you to get together.
Hello, everyone. So another Tuesday, another coffee, another random rumination, a bit of a diatribe of mine, just talking about the current thing and what I've noticed in the news over the past week. Now I know I'm late to the game with this one. I apologise. This was about a week ago. This story broke, give or take, but it's better late than never. And I think this is very relevant to the little season peeps out there who are following my work for that particular topic. So let's just look at the article. Let's just get straight into it because this is just wacky and wild. And I've got a few theories and ideas about what this is all about. And, I think we can have a bit of a discussion about this. So, as you can see, something odd happened recently. So this is from CBS News, and it says, North Texas resident on edge after Ring doorbell camera captures devil at the door. Well, doesn't that sound ominous? So reading on, it says, a North Texas homeowner is on edge after a person recently showed up at her home's door wearing a disturbing mask and holding a sign in reference to the biblical end times. It happened on the night of January the 18th in Carrollton, about 20 miles north of Dallas. The person was wearing a red goat mask and holding a sign with the Bible verse Revelation 21 through 15. It's something police are now monitoring, and here's a spooky picture through a fisheye Ring doorbell of a man wearing a goat Baphomet red devil mask with Revelation 20 verses 1 through 15 on there. The Carrollton resident gave details to CBS Texas about what happened. My husband and I had gone out to dinner and we stopped off at a store to pick up a Powerball ticket, and I was waiting in the car for him and my Ring notification went off, she said. She said she saw a masked person in her driveway. The person walked through the side yard to her front door, and the person popped up on the video with a goat mask on, and they were approaching my door. She noticed the person pretended to knock and holding a sign with a Bible verse on it. It's about the end times, she said. It's about Judgment Day. I freaked out. I couldn't even think of anything. She said she called Carrollton police, but the person had already left. Local police said a report was filed, but they found no crime had occurred, and they're currently monitoring the situation. It's really scary, neighbour Gloria Jones said. I'm not aware of anything like this ever happening, and I hope they catch him. So it says here it's gained traction on social media, and most people from the post are saying something like, I'd have just shot the guy. Or it's probably just a prank, And that's pretty much the end of the article. So there we go, guys. Spooky stuff. Pretty creepy. And the only reason this is relevant to us is because of the particular passage he's holding up. And the timing of this is extremely strange from our point of view, from our little corner here in the internet of this fringe theory of a fringe theory about where we are in the biblical timeline. For this to have happened is odd. And also, perhaps, I'm theorising, done on purpose. I think perhaps maybe this was a message for us. And the media, nothing gets on that box in the corner of the living room. Nothing is broadcast on the or put into a form of programming unless it's meant to be there, unless they want you to see it, unless it's there to send a message of some kind, either to the initiated or to the profane masses in some way, in a subliminal predictive programming psyop sense, So the only way I could interpret this is, I think, guys, they know that we know where we are on the biblical timeline. I think they know we've figured it out. Because most people, and as even the woman quoting that article, or should I say misquoting in that article, she was saying it's about the end times and Judgment Day. No, it's not. It's actually not. That passage has nothing to do with tribulation and Armageddon and that particular Judgment Day that was coming upon Jerusalem. No, it has nothing to do with that. It's specifically about the very end of the story after the millennial reign of Christ, in which Satan is released for a little season to deceive all the nations, to gather an army together, to go and make war with what's called the Camp of Saints and the beloved city. And only after that, at the end of Revelation 20, does it talk about judgment coming down from heaven, burning up the army. Then everybody the living and the dead, standing before God for the final, great white throne judgment at the end of time, just before the new heaven and earth. But most people aren't thinking about that. Most people think that's a future event way off in the distance because we're still waiting for Christ to return for tribulation. And I assume this woman who's making this statement assumed the passage was about the coming tribulation because that's where most people today believe we are. But that passage is very, very specific. And it can't just be taken out of context. And the only reason I can see anybody right now in the media would be holding up that particular passage is not only a nod and a wink to the masses of them, telling the truth, telling the masses, guys, you're in the little season right now. You're at this point in Revelation. You all think you're in Revelations chapter 13 through 16. No, you're not anywhere near that. You're in Revelations 20. We're way past all that. Jesus already came back. He's already reigned for 1,000 years. You're in the little season of Satan now. And that's what he was telling people with that. But no one's going to know that unless they bother to actually look up the verse. Most people are going to take it at face value and assume, it's just some random verse about the end times. Move on, get on with life. So not only does it work for that purpose, that's theory number one. They are telling the masses the truth to karmically absolve themselves of any responsibility. It's like, well, we told you, we put the guy with the mask with the sign out on the news, and it's kind of, you're the one who didn't bother to read what Revelation 20 actually said, so, it's on you now. There's that thing. More likely, I think it's a message to us. I think it's their way of saying, we know, we're on to you. Like, we've noticed this growing culture online of people realizing the timeline, and we're aware of it. And we know. So what are they going to do? Because they don't really want people to figure out the truth. They still have their agenda. They still want to roll out the end times narrative, of tribulation coming upon us and Christ returning and all that kind of stuff. So they have to try and get people back into that and stop learning this stuff. So this seems like damage control as well, to a minor level. I think it's kind of like, I can imagine the Illuminati board meeting right now. People, my internet trolls have come back to me and reported that they know. So soon? What do you mean they know? What are we going to do about this? Do you have any plans? Now, settle down, people. Look, we all knew this day was coming. That's true. They don't go to the short season for nothing. But, I've gathered you all here because you are the best and brightest of my team. And I know together we can come up with a dastardly scheme to put these people back in their place and get the masses back on the tribulation timeline. So, any ideas? Here's looking at you, Israel. Sir, if I may. Ah, yes, Legacy Media represented today by CBS. What do you have for me? Well, sir, I too have been following this very small but growing trend, and it does seem that if we don't do something soon, this is going to snowball into a full mass awakening of the truth of where we are in the timeline. However, I did come up with an idea, and I think you're going to like this one. Go on, spill it. What is it? Well, what if we make them look like lunatic, cringe Satanists if they discuss Revelation 20? Ooh, I like it, a smear campaign. But how? How are we going to do this? This seems like a tall order, because these are Christians after all. Well, sir, if you'd like to look at the screen right behind you, I've already taken matters into my own hands. Ah. You've done it again, you son of a bitch. Well, I didn't earn this eye logo for nothing, sir. So there you have it. That's the plan, really. It's try and make us look as stupid as possible, as ridiculous as possible, as Anton LaVey cringe Satanist as possible. So anybody who's talking about Revelation 20 is just a lunatic Satanist going around wearing masks, scaring people. It reminds me very much of the 2016 clown sighting hysteria that kicked off, where people were walking around wearing clown masks, scaring the crap out of people on street corners and the corner of parks, standing menacingly with a balloon or a knife or something, you know. And even then I knew that's on the news for a reason. That means something. The clown is clearly a symbol to the occultists who own all this media. What's the message? And for those who don't know, well, I wrote a book about that message. Here it is. The Nephilim look like clowns. They were telling the people about the spiritual implications of the clown costume. They were showing the masses the truth. And maybe perhaps hinting that the Nephilim maybe are returning in some capacity or something. I don't know, but everything's an occult symbol to these people. So I have to read between the lines, and I have to look at this event of this guy holding the sign and think, this isn't just some trivial event with some guys going out there for the lols, trolling away, just trying to scare people, talking about spooky revelation stuff while wearing a creepy mask, and that's all it is. No, it got on the news. It became a report that they wanted people to see because they want you to see it. It means something. So it can either mean a message to the occult, the initiated, that, I don't know, we're finally, the end is actually around the corner, guys, get ready. We're coming to the end of Revelation 2015 right now. We're going to get our army, we're going to go to war with the camp of saints any second. It could be a message to the initiated. It could be a message to us, to rile us up and creep us out. It could be we know you know, guys. We know. It could be something like that. Or it could be that whole externalization of the hierarchy, predictively programming the people, soft disclosure type of event. Now the masses have been told about Revelations 20 through 15. It's up to them to go and read it now, but we're going to let them know the truth before we implicate our plan to, like I said, karmically absolve ourselves of any responsibility for their inaction. Something like that. But that last one, which is usually the most common conspiracy theorists go to answer for why they do these things, that latter explanation has never really sat right with me. It just seems convoluted and over the top and too much. I think this case, personally, I'm going to err on the side of this is they're talking to us. They're sending a message to those who have been researching about the little season of Satan, who have been for the past 3 years joining and being a part of a rapidly growing community of people online who are seeing through the futurist doctrine for the absolute mental gymnastic nonsense that it actually is, and are finally realizing where we are on the biblical timeline. And quite in perfect timely fashion, this has happened. Now, there is that final theory that has to be said. This could just be one of us, one of our little seasoned bros out there who's been researching this topic for a while with us and getting in on the community, you know, who's gone out there and taken the initiative to try and spread the message themselves in this weird, odd, creepy way, and inadvertently helped them in some way, kind of spread this truth in the ways I'm talking about in this deceptive way. Maybe it's actually a guy who had good intentions and just wanted to get people to realize we were in Revelation 20, and this shock tactic was his best method to try and get that message out there. Maybe that is always a possibility. So there's various possibilities. I'm going to take the wacky, crazy conspiracy theorist route on this because that's what I do, and I'm going to go with they're talking to us, guys. They're sending us a message. They're saying, we know you know. And I'm saying, we know you know that we know, you know. I'm passing it back to them in that respect. So there you go, guys. Just a quick commentary on that particular event. I think we're going to start seeing a lot more of this stuff happening now that this theory is snowballing out of control, shall we say. It's kind of a that which has been seen cannot be unseen situation when you research the little season theory. And I think a lot of people are falling away from the churchianity futurist doctrine, looking for answers elsewhere, and reading their Bibles literally, and taking the words of Jesus at face value rather than adding layers of interpretation over them, and assuming Jesus told the truth when he said he was coming back in their lifetimes, and that it wouldn't be 2,000 years, but he was coming quickly. And we, the people of that day, needed to prepare then for sudden destruction and tribulation and judgment to come upon them. Not us 2,000 years later. And the only way we can recontextualize and take Jesus at his word rather than make him a liar is to understand that he did tell the truth. And that means tribulation did happen in his time. And he did establish a millennial kingdom that lasted 1,000 years with the resurrected saints. And that must have happened at some point in our past. And we can only work backwards from there. Because I do not want to make Jesus Christ a liar. As far as I'm concerned, he must have told the truth. The lie must be in man-made history, not the words of Jesus. So that's where we're working from. That's where we're working backwards from. And we're figuring it out. And more answers just keep coming our way. More evidences just keep piling up. This theory is not going away. It's just going to get bigger. And now that even the media is getting on board and acknowledging what we're saying. To muddy the waters, to confuse matters, to lead people astray, to make it more difficult for us, but also to let us know that they know. So thanks for listening, guys. And as always, God bless.
I want you to get together.